Hey everybody, how you doing? Hey, I need your help. Um, I've got this patio project going on, but I was just recently invited to take some of my bonsai trees to an ice cream social at the food bank next week. And being busy on this patio and stuff, I haven't thought about what I should take. Or would you help me out? And maybe after I finish up here, I'll get them all out and set them up on the deck rail. And maybe in the comments you can make some suggestions on which ones you think people might enjoy. These won't be bonsai people that are coming to view it. It'd just be regular folks maybe being exposed to bonsai for the first time. So let me finish this up here and we'll do that. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, would you please do that? And then that way, once we make this decision, I'll shoot just a few minutes of film at the ice cream social, and you won't miss that. And maybe anything else we got going on this summer. So let me finish this up and get back to you here in just a second. 7.5 inches. Hey everybody, it's much later in the day, and for your viewing pleasure, I took a shower since I've been out there working. Hey, like I alluded to earlier in the day, I'm going to go to take some trees over to the ice cream social here at the end of the week that's being sponsored by the local food bank. I'm going to, I've got a few trees here. They still need some summer pruning, so they'll get pruned before next week. This will help me prioritize which ones I get pruned throughout the week and ready to go. Before I start throwing them up here, just remember they're all technically pre-bonsai. I do have some in a pot. They're not final pots. The pots weren't picked for any other reason than that the trees fit in them. So don't yell at me about that. The other thing I want to point out real quick is I pulled some moss off some gravel that I found after a rain and harvested it. And I've worked on moss for years and I cannot get moss to grow on the surface of my plants. But you'll see I have some patches of moss on there. I did a combination of just putting pads of moss on there. I crumbled it up and mixed it with sphagnum moss, just like they teach at Mirai. I've done the Mirai technique every year and I can't get it to go. I can't get the pads to go also. I've been really trying to increase, just shots of water throughout the daytime. I've got the trees up on the deck now just to get them some shade, hoping that the extra shade will help that moss take off. But you might throw something down in the comments too if you got moss growing on stuff. If there's anything I'm not doing, the trees typically sit out in full sun. They get watered twice a day. I'm gonna set the camera up here on a stand, and then I'm gonna start showing some trees real quick. I've talked too much already. Okay, I don't know if I've shown you this tree much. This is a little elm tree. I dug it out of a garden somewhere when I was weeding. It's been in a container for several years. I'm trying to grow this. I'm gonna keep this one real small. And I pruned it a few times, but it's got this crazy root on it. I kind of like it. I've been letting the bottom branches typically grow out more and keeping the top pruned just to keep it small up top. Anyway, here's the moss that's damp, but it's doesn't look good. Anyways, I really like this tree and really trying to develop it. Still young in this development. This is, I don't know, fun little tree. I like it. It's a little elm tree. Okay, I got a couple ficus trees I'm going to show you next. This ficus tree came from a cutting I did several years ago when I was pruning a different ficus that I don't have anymore. It's put on a lot of good growth. It's got a nice base on it. I've already kind of did a quick little prune on it this summer. It typically lives inside the house all winter. It made a good transition this year from the indoors to the outdoors. Anyways, it's starting to put up some new growth again. Part of the reason I'm interested in this tree is because I think they're kind of easy, and if somebody sees it and wants to get into bonsai, I might recommend they find a tree, a ficus tree. It's a fun tree. I really like it. Had it a long time. Really liking the development on it. Desperately needs a repot, so as soon as everything kind of hardens off on that, this tree will be getting a repot this spring. I'm going to reach down here and grab another one. This one, if you remember seeing the video, if not, I'll put a link up here. My sister-in-law went to a garden center one time in the middle of winter time. Well, it must have been January because it was my birthday, and we did a video on rescuing some ficus. They were pretty sad-looking ficus trees in the garden center that year, and I don't know, 2 years ago maybe it was. So it's still going well. The roots look really good on it. I just put it in a bigger pot, so it did get a little root trim here a couple weeks ago. Put it in a little bigger pot. I did snip some stuff off of it. I'm gonna let this grow up just to kind of thicken it up, and then maybe next year I'll do a trunk chop on it. I'll just chop, you know. That's what Colin would say. Anyways, I like this tree too. It's kind of interesting. It's got a lot of movement to it. I look forward to working more with it in the future. Okay, I got a few more trees queued up. This is that other ficus tree that was in that ficus rescue video I did. So it's doing well too. I just did a little bit of pruning on it recently, and so it's putting out a whole bunch of new growth. Some of this long stuff is sacrificial branches. They'll come off eventually. They're kind of just around here to help heal this big chop that I made before. So again, the reason why I like this one too is because it would be good for beginners if a beginner should choose to try the hobby. Let's see, next up in the queue is another tropical. This is a lemon that I grew from seed. Just did a few, just snipped it back a little bit. Just kind of letting it grow because I'm trying to thicken up the trunk and work on the nabari and stuff. So it's, I don't know, it's getting some shape to it, but it's got a lot of growing to do still. But I think it would be interesting just because it's a lemon, and I'd like to have people pinch the leaves a little bit and smell their fingers and pick up that lemon smell and see if they can't guess what it is. So nothing special. Again, these are all just starters and pre-bonsai. Let's see. This is a forsythia that I made a video last fall. I went to the garden center and picked it up when it was on clearance at the end of the season. I did some root work on it. Has some more root work. I hope I'm holding this in the right place. I did just dunk some of these trees, so they got water running out of them. Still has a lot of root work to go. I'm letting it grow just to strengthen, build the trunk and stuff. But if I take this one, I will give it a summer haircut, cut it back some. But all this long leggy stuff is hopefully to help the tree grow in size a little bit. So excuse me. I think it's doing really well. If you don't have a forsythia, get you one. This is the last of the little trees. This is a little pine. I think it's an Austrian pine. I know my hat's crooked. It's not my hat, it's my head. I got a crooked head. I dug it up in a field around some other pines. Everything else looked like Austrian pine. I know there's a mix of some Scotch pines in that area, but I think if it was a Scotch pine, the needles would be a lot smaller. So I'm pretty sure this is Austrian pine. It's been in a pot for a couple years now. There's still a lot of the native soil in here. I raked some of the edges off and then put some bonsai soil in. I'm gonna let it go. It's starting to, the water's not starting to percolate like it should. So that should be an indication that I could probably repot it. So this will be on the docket for next spring. And at that time, hopefully the bonsai soil I put in there is full of roots, and then I can go in there and take some more of the field soil out of it. I know it's a controversial deal, whether you should bare root a tree or not. A pine. I know Nigel says you can and does it. Of course, I know Mariah says don't do it. I don't know, because I've lost pines that I've bare rooted, but I don't know if it's because I did that or if it's because I just killed them. So I'm gonna try to just slowly convert it over to bonsai soil this time. But small tree, it's got a lot of growing to do. I'll probably keep it small and compact. At the end of the summer, I'll do another needle pinch on it in hopes to get some back buds. But I like the tree. I think it's a cute little tree. All right, I'm going to move on to some bigger trees now. Another pine I've collected. It's been in the pot for several years. Still some field soil in this one also, but quite a bit of bonsai soil. It's probably going to go another couple years in this pot before I repot it. I did its first needle pluck last year, and had a few dormant buds pop, but I didn't touch much of the stuff up here, so I'm going to get all that cleaned out at the end of August, sometime in mid-September, and in hopes to do that. This probably sacrificial branch down here and here. Don't know. Every single pine tree that I've wired so far has died. I don't know if I'm doing too much to them. I've done both raffia and not raffia. It might not be the wire at all. I just might not know how to grow pines yet. But I probably won't do a lot of wiring on this one. Anyways, so this one, I like it. It's easy to move. I think it would be a recognizable tree to people, so it might be a fun one. It might not say bonsai to somebody yet, but I don't know, maybe. I think it's got some pretty good roots there. You can't see them because of the weeds, I'll bet. But a lot of possibilities. I'm excited to see what happens with this tree. Here's one of my two bigger elm trees. I think there's several videos I've posted of these trees. I'll put the link to the elm introduction playlist at the top here now, because we'll have another elm coming up after this. This has just been allowed to grow this year. A lot of new growth on it still, starting to harden off. I'm starting to wonder, might have a little something going on down here. It might be getting shaded out, I don't know, but it's time for a haircut. And if like I said, whatever tree is you guys choose, or trees, maybe give me a idea of the top 3 or something. I'll make sure they get a haircut first, and then so they're looking good and the pots are wiped down. But I really like this tree. I've had this one since 2014. I'm gonna grab the camera and just give you a little up close. Those other trees didn't have a whole lot going on in them, but I'm gonna give a little more up close on this one. So let me grab the camera. So starting off, we've got some surface roots, and we've got some roots down in here that we can still develop or show off a little bit better when it goes into a better pot sometime in the future. I think it's got pretty good taper going up the trunk. You can see I have a big trunk chop in there that I did years and years and years ago that's still healing. I'm thinking about putting some JB weld or something in there, and then seeing if that won't heal that over a little bit faster. But then as it goes up, the trunk gets more narrow. Pretty good movement in the branches. Let's see if we can see something down here. Anyways, another season or two, some pretty good pruning. I think this tree will really be vastly improved. I don't know, let's call this Elm 1 since the other one's gonna be a big Elm 2. So let's call this Elm 1, we'll call the other one Elm 2. Okay, this is one we'll call Elm 2. I think I did a video this spring. This one should have been repotted last year, and if I remember right, we had that crazy spring where everything was leafing out so early and I didn't catch it in time. And its box was really rotten in bad shape. So I got to it this year in time, and the only container, the only pot I had was this bonsai pot. I doubt it's the correct pot at all. I think these probably go into a round one. I don't know, but it's just its temporary home for now. I'll grab the camera here in a second. We'll look at some more detailed stuff. But like the last tree, there's some surface roots. I think there's pretty good movement in the root line. In the past, I think we had some insect damage there. Working on getting those closed back up. Trunk chop up there too. Anyway, same thing. Good trunk movement, I think. Good taper. Tapers all the way up to the small twigs. Good branching going on. I don't know, what do you think? Elm 2. This will be the last one I show you here. I've got one other on the bench that we'll go look at. I did a video on this, and this one's got an interesting story because it's just been in the wrong place at the right time so many different times. When we first moved to this house, I had it sitting right here on the floor and on the deck here, and I had the step ladder out, changing a light bulb or something. This tree, we'd just been here for one day or two, and the wind blew the ladder over and knocked out most of the canopy on it. I had to kind of chop it off, not where I wanted to, and it's been doing well since. But then I think a fence got blown over, got blown off the bench, or something happened to it again and really hammered its canopy again. So it's an amber maple, so it's resilient and it's doing well. But I made a repot video of this one earlier this spring too, and if I have the availability still, I'll throw a card up there for that too. It's not quite hardened off yet. It's still growing quite vigorously. If you remember from, or if you want to go back and watch the repot video, there's quite a big swelling on the trunk right here. I put it in, I think, a little bigger pot, so maybe if we can get those roots to really kick into action there, maybe we can reduce that, or maybe the roots under it will pick up the kind of pick up the pace a little bit and maybe make that not so visible. Or I could bury it just a little deeper in the pot and hide that too. It does not have much trunk taper on it because of the trunk problems it's had, and then the placement of the branches coming out of the top are not ideal, but it'll work. Let me grab the camera here and see. There was one big spot that where the damage happened, and then another one up here. But you see this branch right here could make another leader, which it's doing. What is not as desirable is above it are some thicker lateral branches. And at this point in the stage of development, I'm not sure I want to take those off. So I might just let that grow up and see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe people grow amber maples for bonsai, but I haven't seen too many of them. Let me know if you have amber maple bonsai. Okay, just for fun, we're gonna look at another tree. Yeah, I can take this one. This one's easy enough to take if I wanted. Got another pine here. It doesn't look anything like bonsai yet, but Got some good surface roots. I did needle pluck last year, and I am getting a lot of back budding on this one, which is exciting. A bunch. There's some more higher up top, further up the tree, I should say, maybe. So anyways, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this tree. I thought about maybe cutting it off there and turning it up so that this becomes the new leader, new trunk line. This is just a funny squirrely branch right here that I don't think it belongs. But then if that goes, there's still way too much trunk here with nothing in it. A lot of thinning needs to happen at that space. So I don't know. I'm going to do another a better needle prune on it this year, or needle pluck, and I'll just see what the back budding does. The back budding will guide what happens. For anybody wondering, that big wisteria stump is still alive, but that other part of it that was on there, well, I remember I went back and watched that video, and at the end of the video I said I should put some raffia or something on there to strengthen that little bit, because that's kind of thin. And it went about 3 days later, the wind snapped it off. So when you say you're going to do something, you probably ought to do it. I hope you found those trees interesting enough that you are still watching the video. This is it. Going to wrap it up here. In the comments, please let me know. I think we talked about maybe 2 or 3. Let me know which ones you like, you should take. Moss, we talked about moss for a second. If you have any secrets or hints, maybe I need to set a mister up so they mist several times a day in this heat. I don't know. I sure like to figure that one out. Lastly, I appreciate you watching. If you hadn't subscribed yet, please do. I'm not gonna make any long pruning videos, but once I get everything pruned up, I'll probably just do another quick recap of that. I hope your summer's going well. I hope your trees are doing good, and I look forward to watching all of your videos. I enjoy seeing what you guys are doing. And anyways, that's it for now. I'm going to try to work on the patio a little bit more tonight, and I look forward to seeing your responses. Take care, everybody. Well, it's hot as hell again, and